Hey friends, Ash here with Gents with another first impressions video, and this one's a little bit out of the ordinary. The first fragrance is not really out of the ordinary. It's this one, Azzaro Wanted Tonic, the newest in the Azzaro Wanted line. This one I bought from a store called Beauty the Shop, and they're actually located in Spain. So I'll leave a link to that in the description if you want to buy it from there. It's not super cheap though. It was about $100 and then shipping on top of that, but I got it, so yay. The other two fragrances are the ones that are a little different. We've got this one, A-lister for men. And this is Dan Bilzerian's fragrance that he released not that long ago, and check that out. Pharaoh Boost infused. So they're marketing it as having pheromones inside the fragrance. Because you know, ladies love the pheromones and they get you compliments or something. And then the other fragrance is this one. SpongeBob SquarePants Gary. Yes, SpongeBob SquarePants Gary. It says it right there, Gary. And this one used to come in a bottle that actually looked like Gary himself, the little snail, but now it comes in this pineapple style bottle that is reminiscent of SpongeBob's house. So in this video, we've got a SpongeBob SquarePants fragrance, we have a Dan Bilzerian fragrance, and we have just a random new release for spring and summer. So let's do this. I'm not really sure where to start here. I guess we'll start with A-lister, the Dan Bilzerian fragrance, Bilzerian. And this one, actually, the first time that I saw it, I was kind of an idiot, and instead of A-lister, I thought it was Alister. I was like, Alister? Okay, but no, it's A-lister. And this fragrance is one that a lot of people had actually reached out to me and asked me to pick up so that I could do a first impression on it. A lot of people out there are curious for one reason or another. First off, let's take a quick look at this presentation. Here is the front of the box. You can see there, A-lister for men, cologne, Pharaoh Boost infused, 118 milliliters. Nothing on the sides or the top. On the back, you have a little info on the fragrance. You've got your barcode there on the bottom. It says on the back, embody the power of your magnetism, flaunt your confidence. Earthy pheromones boost your allure and draw others to you with eager openness. You know what I'm saying. Experience the enticing, long-lasting aroma of raw attraction. Directions. A few quick sprays on your body or clothing is all you need. There we go. And here is the bottle. It looks essentially like a stock bottle, just like a standard Decant bottle, like a 30 milliliter one, only blown up to 4-ounce size. So there's your bottle for A-lister. So one thing that you'll notice right away, there are a lot of floaters in this bottle. Now that's something that I've seen before in numerous fragrances in the past, also in some more affordable fragrances, cheaper fragrances. It's basically like just particles floating around in there, like dust and little pieces of thread and things like that. So there's a lot of stuff floating around on the inside of the bottle that's very easy to pick out, and it's basically just that. It's a bunch of particles, dust, etc. Which means that there's probably not super great quality control going into the fragrance itself. Maybe a year or year and a half ago, I did some first impressions on some cologne fragrances that were very inexpensive, and they also had this going on with the particles, the dust, the little pieces of thread. It almost looks like little pieces of hair inside of the bottle. So like I said, I've seen that before. And one thing that I also noticed on this when I pulled it out is there are fingerprint smudges all over the bottle that were already there when I pulled it out. So not from me, but from whoever packed this. It was all. So here's a close look at the bottle. Hopefully on camera you can make out some of the things floating around inside there. If you couldn't see those, you're gonna have to take my word for it, but let's go ahead and give this a spray. Yeah, that atomizer sucks. So it's sort of warm, nondescript, little bit of woodiness in there. It does sit close to the skin, even right off the top here, so it's not projecting heavily. I hit myself with 4 sprays. Again, the atomizer was not great, so that's gonna play into that a little bit. Little touch of citrus off the top, not too much though, just lends a little bit of tartness. It's not really juicy sweet. refreshing or anything like that. Little tiny touch of cinnamon and lavender poking out, but again, not that much. It's kind of, like I said before, nondescript, sits close to the skin. Warm, slightly musky, woody. There's not a whole lot going on there, to be honest. Now, I can see this being an easy wear just because it is not very loud. It's not offensive, but this is not really attention grabbing. This is the kind of thing somebody's gonna have to be right up on top of you to pick it up. But if they do pick it up, I would imagine that most people are gonna think it smells pretty nice. But it's not really anything to write home about. It's just safe, musky, woody, light. That's about it. And I'm not gonna get into it too much, but pheromones don't really work as far as being put into fragrances. Otherwise, you would have all these different companies loading their fragrances down with pheromones. That's something that was really popular back in like the 90s, throwing pheromones into fragrances or saying that fragrances had pheromones in them, stuff like that. I believe Realm was a fragrance that was marketed heavily as being a pheromone fragrance, but pheromones don't really work that way. It's not something that you spray on and then people just go like, oh my God, are those pheromones? I mean, think about it from your point of view as a guy. If there was a woman whose personality was not at all attractive to you, whose look was not at all attractive to you, whose style was not at all attractive to you, who you had nothing in common with, do you think that if she sprayed on a fragrance that had pheromones, that all of that would drop out of your head and you would just be like, what? Suddenly I find you irresistible. It doesn't work that way. And it won't work that way for you. I mean, if you have a terrible personality, you're a gigantic a-hole, you've got no money, you've got no friends, you've got no life, you're just a jerk off, and you spray this on, all those other things are not gonna change. So, I mean, it's not really gonna help you out. But hey, it smells okay. It's just a light cedar, sandalwood, a bit of musk, and a little touch of lavender, essentially. Next up, let's take a look at this one. SpongeBob SquarePants Gary. Here's a good look at the bottle for SpongeBob SquarePants Gary. It's a pineapple. Unbelievable. Gary! And here's a look at that box for Gary. Says it right on the back. So I'm expecting extreme quality. Here we go, SpongeBob SquarePants Gary. Shout out to the subscriber that sent this to me. A subscriber actually bought this and sent it to me so that I could check it out. So shout out to you. You know who you are. Gary is actually projecting more off my skin than A-Lister did. Get it, Gary, get it. Coconut, orange blossom, right off the top. A little bit like a suntan lotion to an extent, but heavy on the coconut. Surprisingly, not that bad. It's okay. It's like a coconut with white florals, bit of a powdery vanilla in there. Not too much though, just a bit. It's not too bad. Gary's doing his thing. Unisex for sure. Obviously this is marketed toward children. So yeah, for a SpongeBob fragrance, that's like 12 bucks on eBay. I'm not gonna hate on it. It does, it like really reminds me of going to a water park or to the beach or something like that, just in terms of the suntan lotion. It's almost like the suntan lotion if you strip out some of the more, not really medicinal, but like the, oh, what am I trying to say? Like that undercurrent of suntan lotion, like if you take the scent of the suntan lotion, what they use to scent the suntan lotion, take that out and bottle it. That's what this is. I like that. In a weird kind of way. Not in a way that I want to go around and wear SpongeBob Gary and smell like suntan lotion, but for a freaking SpongeBob fragrance that's, again, 12 bones, it's not too bad. Now let's go ahead and open up Wanted Tonic. Check this one out. This is the newest in the Wanted line, as I said earlier, and the Wanted line is low-key a line of fragrances that I really think is good. The original Wanted, similar to Paco Rabanne Invictus, but I actually like it a little bit more than Invictus, and then Wanted by Night, very solid as well. Here's a good look at the front of the box for Azzaro Wanted Tonic. It's got a little bit of a blue tinge, as you can see right there. Here's the top of the box. Nothing doing on the sides, not too much on the back. Then on the bottom you'll find your batch code. And here's a good look at your bottle. You'll notice this one is blue rather than yellow. On the top, the bullets are silver rather than gold. And then on the bottom is where you'll find your badge code, and it is etched into the glass. This cap is on here. Whoa! Cap does click into place, and mine is in there really snugly. Let's go ahead and spray this one on. There is not a whole lot there. Off the top, this is really, yeah, that's just kind of thin. It's not got a whole lot of oomph to it. It's light, even right away. It's aquatic. It's a bit of ginger in there, fresh, little zingy touch of lime, just a little touch. Mainly aquatic though, mainly aquatic and ginger. That's what I pick up for the most part. And it is coming off very light. It smells like just a generic gym fragrance. Yep. They could have named this Wanted Sport, something like that, and it would be just as good, because this is just disappointing, is what it smells like to me, just really disappointing. Yeah. It's not that it smells bad. It's not that you smell it and go like, oh God, how disgusting. But it smells like this could be Azzaro Chrome something, like a throwaway Chrome Sport fragrance. It's cheap smelling. Yeah, I'll reapply it on my hand here. Nah, that ain't it. Off the top, there's this alcohol blast. So if you smell it right when you spray it on, it just smells like rubbing alcohol almost. Then that settles in. Aquatic, ginger, maybe a very faint touch of green, fresh cardamom, not sweet. A little bit of lime, just a little like lime zest almost. Guys, this is a big letdown. Azzaro Wanted Tonic to me sucks. In the opening, this is not good. It's a letdown. This is like a cheap gym smelling fragrance. It's fresh, but it is not worth $100. This is a type of fragrance that for me would be like $30 and under. Yeah, I wouldn't want to pay more than $30 for that, period. And I think that it's going to be limited to high heat, casual situations in the summer, and the gym. It's the type of fragrance that you would buy for a small amount of money, and then you would just blast yourself with like 8 sprays of this before you go into the gym, just to have kind of a fresh vibe when you go in and work up a sweat. It's not strong. Like I talked about A-Lister a little bit being weakish off my skin. This is weaker. Yeah. This is a thumbs down for me. First impression, I don't like it. I think that this is at retail horrifically overpriced. It smells like a cheap gym fragrance. Like I said, it doesn't smell offensive. You don't smell this and go, oh God, that's so terrible. But you do smell it and go like, oh, I've smelled that 10,000 times before. And I can pick that up in other fragrances in the $20 price range. That's what this smells like. Azzaro Wanted Tonic for me, enormous letdown. It's, I'll give it more wear and see if my opinion changes, but that's my first impression. My first impression is this sucks. Now we'll work back through these other two really quickly. Gary smells like my wife with suntan lotion at the beach. It's unisex, maybe leaning a little feminine. Coconut, vanilla, orange blossom, a little bit of musk. Not too bad though for $12. I think that Gary at $12 is a better buy than Azzaro Wanted Tonic at $100. A-Lister, it's got this light synthetic woodiness. A little bit sweet, a little bit creamy. Of these three, I'd actually rather wear A-Lister. Like, as far as a day-to-day fragrance, of these three, I think it's, for a guy, the best one. Which is pretty funny. Like, the pheromone thing, ignore that, that's not real. But as far as the fragrance itself, it's more wearable for a guy than Gary, obviously. But Gary is surprisingly good for a $12 SpongeBob fragrance. And I think that this is better than Azzaro Wanted Tonic. Yeah, Wanted Tonic is some trash. This one is kind of one note-ish in the sense that the way it smells now is pretty much how it smelled when I sprayed it on. It hasn't changed a lot or really much at all, but it's pleasant. I don't mind it. Yeah, I think that's gonna wrap this one up. God. Yeah, I just don't care about Wanted Tonic at all. Man, that's an enormous letdown. I had really looked forward to getting this one in. I was hoping it was gonna be some like really attention-grabbing change to the fresh fragrance game, I guess. I probably should not have anticipated that, but that was the hope anyway. If you've smelled any of these fragrances, let me know in the comments below what you think about them. As always, thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and thanks for all your support. I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.